it's time for another G.I. Joe toy review. Today we are going to be looking at the 1993 Alley Viper version 2. This is when things really started kind of getting weirder with G.I. Joe. We know that in '89 that Alley Viper version 1 came out and he was blaze orange with electric blue. Now, that didn't ring right with some fans, and I could see why. It kind of gets away from the military style of toy that we were used to, but we also need to think about the fact that Cobra has always been a little bit garish. Their vehicles and action figures have not always been with the norm of military style clothing. And understandably so, because they are not a military, they're paramilitary, and their rules are a little bit lax, as is G.I. Joe being a military organization. So they have to fit in with a common uniform, or uniform style, I should say. So the Alley Viper version 2 was released as a part of the 12 series. It only stayed on the shelf for 1 year, from 93 to 94. It was in the 90s. They only gave their action figures a limited run of 1 year. But if you do follow G.I. Joe, you know that they recycled a lot of their action figures, and oftentimes it was released again the same year with a different paint scheme on it. And for me, being just a teenager at the time, that kind of confused me. It's like, wait, is this a different figure? Is it a new figure? Is it a knockoff? You know, why did they have this one painted black and yellow, and then again they release it black and orange? Which one is harder to find? And I didn't like it, but I think that was Hasbro's attempt to keep their head above water and to give a new action figure without actually having to make a new action figure. They just slapped some different paint on them, which was cost cutting, and the weapons trees were another thing that was a cost cutting measure with them. And for those of you who don't know what a weapons tree is, if you can remember with a model or a toy that had a lot of parts, the little brackets that it came on, those are trees. So when Alley Viper version 2 was released, it came out as a part of the Battle Corps series. And we all know the Battle Corps came with firing weapons. And I'll show you that when we look at the action figure. This guy was also intended to be the Parasite driver, which the Parasite came out the previous year, and I'll show you an example of that. Now, the Parasite was an urban assault armored personnel carrier, and the Alley Viper are Cobra's urban assault troops. So let's go ahead and take a look at this action figure. 1989 introduced us to a whole new Cobra figure, the Alley Viper. This guy is really cool. He came with a tactical shield. This is one thing that really attracted me to him outside of these bright colors. And he has a visor, which is also a very nice design. I like it, but he can't see through it. So that kind of confused me as a kid. It's like, why would they put a visor on him that he can't see through? But as you can see on there, he has this nice little Cobra logo, and I pretended that he could see through that electronically. So 1992 came around and we got a new sculpt and design of the Alley Viper, save for his legs and the head. It is a completely different sculpt. They changed the helmet, gave it this menacing looking snake style helmet, which did raise up, and you could see the same head sculpt, but they changed the shield. This is a very nice looking shield. They improved upon it by giving it arm clips, but at the same time it is very difficult to keep it on the figure. So on his elbow pads, it's where I slide it on, but it doesn't stay on. The problem that I had with version 1 shield, as I mentioned before, was the hand grip going across the front, which in order for him to hold it right, it bent the thumb out. So I didn't like that at all. 3 came about and we went back to the bright blaze orange and electric blue. They kept the same style, same sculpt, same everything about this Alley Viper. And they even painted his eyes orange. Look at that. But it is a really cool figure. Kept that same design all the way up through the modern era. Yeah, with just a change of the accessories and the legs, which were differently, and I'll cover those when I review this. Now the black and brown one came with Tomax and Zaymot's pistol. The big difference between these two is Tomax and Zaymot, their pistol is a gloss finish. This is matte. Just at first glance you won't be able to tell the difference, but when you get them side by side, you will be able to see the difference. And unfortunately, those the weapons for Tomax and Zaymot are packed away, and I cannot remember what box I put them in. So I apologize for that. Alright, so let's go ahead and get a closer look at this guy. I refer to him as the Yellow Jacket. He's black and yellow and very menacing and mean. I don't know if any of you have ever encountered a Yellow Jacket, but it's in a wasp family and they are notoriously vicious. So let's go ahead and take off his accessories and take a look at those. He came with quite a few. First off, I don't want to pry that helmet off. I'm afraid of breaking the tabs. But you can see that the helmet has a snake or almost a cat look, with the cat with his ears drawn back. Yeah, very, very nice sculpt. The helmet does tilt back to reveal his face, and the eye holes you could actually see through. And he came with relatively the same accessories as version 1. He came with the backpack that had a sculpted on grappling gun. The hook does come off, so watch for that on the aftermarket. That is a piece that's commonly lost. This is a very nice sculpt. You can see that it has a pulley on there. And what would G.I. Joe be without sculpted on hand grenades? Whoops. So has some sculpted on grenades. And the pulley is intended to work with the gun. They fire the grappling hook up on a rooftop, and the pulley will take them up to the top of the roof wherever they need to go. And also you can see that very nice little Cobra sigil sculpted on there. The shield is a soft, pliable plastic in a Cobra design. Has the arm hooks there on the back. Came with the same gun as version 1. No big difference there. Also came with dial tones rifle. And that's a pretty cool looking little submachine gun. Has a collapsible stock and the air-cooled jacket around the, or heat dispersing jacket around the barrel. And what would 91 be, or the 90s be, without the proverbial rocket launcher? And it came with 2 missiles, 2 rockets that just load right into the front. Flip the switch and boom. Now looking at the figure, he has a lot going for him outside of the black and red color, or black and yellow color scheme. See the stripes along his legs, they're pretty cool. He has knee-high boots, jack boots with knee pads. A sculpted on pouch on that leg. He has some body armor that doesn't cover his complete body, which is kind of disconcerting for me. They could have finished that around. This part is intended to be a bulletproof flap to cover his bollocks. Now on the front here, very nice gloss finish. Has a painted zipper up the front. I'm surprised the gold paint lasted, but I think by the 90s they really improved upon it. He has a trench knife here in the front with a D guard. Not sure what these bumps are supposed to be there. He has a smoke grenade, another pouch, 2 more pouches up on the shoulders. Just around the back, they finished it up with these straps. He has nice gloves with elbow pads. He needs those to be out in the urban life. Cobra sigil on the left arm, and on the right arm it says UA for Urban Assault. These are really nice figures all in all. I really do enjoy them very much. The Alley Vipers are very high on my list. I would say number 1 on my list, and number 2 being the Night Viper. Well, I unfortunately do not have the file card for him, but I do have the file card for version 1. He was intended to be the Parasite driver, so that would have been mentioned in this file card. But I'll read version 1 file card to kind of give you an idea of what's going on with them. It says codename Alley Viper, Cobra Urban Assault Trooper. Alley Vipers are the Cobra equivalent of the police SWAT unit. SWAT meaning Special Weapons and Tactics, or the British SAS, which is Special Air Services. They form the spearhead of Cobra's inner-city invasion forces. This elite contingent of marauders are true masters of brutality, possessing a style of ruthlessness not present in other Cobra soldiers. Recruits from Cobra's most diabolical combat divisions, Alley Vipers, use various forms of treachery to achieve their objectives. So these guys are brutal and sneaky. In order to graduate from their training program, they are required to survive a full burst of machine gun fire across their frontal body armor. Okay, these guys are nuts. Execute a 30-foot jump onto concrete with full combat load and run down a 100-meter gas-filled corridor without their mask. Okay, so it's pretty brutal. They want only the best out there. So you see on the card art, I think that's the way they intended the visor to be, but they couldn't quite do that with the technology at the time. Bottom reads a quote. Alley Vipers are big and strong as well as ruthless. Their body armor alone weighs 50 pounds, and they carry at least 30 pounds of weapons and ammo, grenades, and climbing gear. You definitely do not want one of these gorillas running up and kicking down your door, or kicking your door down. Alley Viper is the answer to G.I. Joe's Shockwave. Sure, he has similar training, but he is a police officer, so he is bound by the law. Cobra is not. So it was by 1991 that Hasbro started releasing vehicles without their drivers, so that would make sense why they planned to, or intended for you to use the Alley Viper as the driver of the Parasite, which was kind of a shame, but again, they were cutting cost and trying to keep the toy line going. And I'm glad they did, because a whole new generation after mine got to enjoy them too. The kids that were born in the late 80s and 90s, early 90s. So the Alley Viper's original retail price was $2.97, which, you know, was the going rate, the average price for those. And you may have found them a little more expensive, and, you know, let's say Sears or JCPenney or some other department store, and some other stores raised the price a bit as well. So let's get into my favorite segment, Byron's Gripe. Okay, so if you're looking for him on the aftermarket, he's out there. They're somewhat common, but you're going to have to pay a pretty good price for them because of their popularity, and also because they're army builders. And us old farts that didn't have these in vast quantities as a kid to build an army out of them. We usually had one. Maybe if you're lucky, had two. And we're building those up now. So be prepared to pay. If you're looking for one with absolutely no accessories, I mean bare bones, just the action figure, no helmet or no visor, nothing else, looking at $4, which is a pretty reasonable price, to $13.49. No, I would not pay that much for a loose action figure. That unless it was like an ultra rare vehicle driver, you know, let's say that came with the Crusader or something, I would pay that. You want one complete? $18.99 to $34.99. $34.99. $35. No. I absolutely would not pay that. I've mentioned this before, and I'll keep on mentioning it, that the people sell, it's their item. They could ask whatever price they want for it, and will they get that price? Probably not. Dealing with or better offers, there's a lot of negotiating going on, and through my experience, I could only get them down to maybe 50 cents or $1. So sometimes haggling just does not work out for the best. And then keep in mind, you still have to pay shipping on these. And average shipping would be about $3.25 according to the zip code. The zip code changes, it gets a little more expensive. And of course, you're going to ship internationally. You're going to have to get customs forms and international fees, things like that. So it's going to be a little bit more if you're buying this internationally. So you want one incomplete. These just came with one or two accessories. $14.95 or $14.99, $24.95. $24.95. Hell no. No, 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 no. 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 I'm not going to say anything more on that. I was going to make a comment, but no, I'm going to be nice. And I'm not doing this to hurt people. I'm not about shaming. That's not what I'm about. That's not what my channel's about. I do this to give you guys an idea of what to look for out there. And I found it very useful when I was first, when I got back into collecting, what prices were considered reasonable. So that's why I do this segment. Yeah, I don't think so with those prices there. Complete with file card, $29.99 to $37.99. No on both. Really, no on both. Even $18.99. I think that's stretching it. Really, try to look for a vintage toy store in your town. As you're almost guaranteed a cheaper price. You're putting money back into your community, for one. Number two, you don't have to pay shipping. And yeah, some of these prices are just getting to be outlandish. I wouldn't pay $29.99 for it. I paid at least $10 less for this one. At least $10 less. I can't remember the exact price that I paid for that, but I know it wasn't no $29.99. Complete with a full file card, $18.22. That's not bad. $18.22. I would pay that, especially with a full file card, to $39.88. No. Why don't you squeeze your nose and blow real hard, clear the cobwebs out of your brain? That's not going to happen. That is just not going to happen. I would not pay that. If I absolutely desperately had to have it, I still may not pay that, depending on the situation. No, that's still up there. The Shield, $3.95 to $4.99. Okay, I'd pay $3.95 for that without a problem. His gun, this is the only one I found. The reuse of Dial Tones gun, $1.95 to $5.99. $5.99, no way. I would not pay that. I would not pay. Oh, sorry, $4.99. I would not pay that. The rocket launcher, $1.49 to $1.94. Did you catch that? $1.49 and $1.94. It was the same seller. I think trying to sell the same item. I hope he had duplicates of it, but the pictures look the same to me. The missile, $1.75. Yeah, I would pay that for both of those. His right arm, $1.50. Left arm, $1.95. Now the deal of the day, you could buy two of these complete complete. And this seller that's selling these, I've worked with him several times in the past. He is a great guy, stand-up guy. He displays his items on eBay in front of a diorama of a brick wall. Very nice looking diorama. $37.99 for those, but they don't come with the file card. But you're dealing with a good guy. I'm not saying none of the rest of these guys are good, but he's the one I distinctly remember dealing with. And you're going to get a good figure. It's not going to be beat up. He even changes the O-rings if they need to be. So anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed this review. I was certainly looking forward to doing this review when I bought this action figure. I really love the Alley Vipers, even to the modern ones. I have a bunch of them, and I really enjoy having them around. They're great for doing stop motion, great for putting in front of a diorama. So if you like this channel, give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. I do answer. Sometimes it's not right away, but most of the time I will get you within 24 hours. Respond back to you. I'm also on Coffee. Go ahead and check me out. Check that page out right down here at the bottom. I have that in the description. I'm also on Patreon. I'm going to go ahead and check that out too. Give this channel a little bit of support, and that money will go right back into the channel and back into your pockets in the form of prizes and giveaways for action figures, vehicles. The more support I get on Patreon, I'll be able to buy better stuff to review and to give away. So I would really appreciate that support. Share this video. Subscribe to my channel. That is also a lot of support for me. I really appreciate it when I see my channel being shared on Twitter, which I'm on under Joe Motion Videos 82 or Byron Kellogg. You can follow me on either page. And yeah, let's go out there and be kind to other people. That's really cool when I see that on Twitter. People just being really nice and supportive to one another. And it doesn't matter what you're creating, you know, a lot of it's being shared, and that means a lot. When I see that being done with my page or with whatever I put on there and other people, I just love to spread the word, especially about up-and-coming channels. And also be kind to animals. They're four-legged humans. They have feelings just like us. So anyway, thank you guys once again. Really appreciate each and every one of you. This is Joe Motion Videos 82 signing off. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.